Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be giving my match predictions for week 32 Premier League fixtures. And I'm telling you, the title race, the relegation fight, and even the top 4 race is all heating up. As we can see, we saw some important vital results. We saw Tottenham absolutely thrash Newcastle 5-1. We saw Arsenal drop points against Crystal Palace, losing 3-0 on Monday. We saw Liverpool and Manchester City both getting respective victories to continue their push for the title race. But when it comes to week 32 fixtures, we're going to be seeing some amazing fixtures, some vital games. Like I've said, we're seeing Manchester City versus Liverpool, the two best teams not only in the country but across the whole of Europe, fighting out for the Premier League title race this season. We also got some other crucial games like Tottenham going to Villa Park against Aston Villa. This is going to be an incredible battle for Tottenham, finishing in the top 4 race, chasing down Arsenal. Arsenal facing Brighton at home, and we know Arsenal are looking to secure their place in Champions League football next season, their first time since Arsene Wenger left the club. So I'm telling you, let's hope for goals, drama, entertainment, and Premier League thrills, like I always say. But before going this video and give my match predictions, you know I'm going to say, make sure you guys like, comment, and hit that big subscribe button right there, because I'm only like 20 subscribers away from the magic 1k mark, so please help me reach that number. And only 10% of you guys are actually subscribed, so please hit the subscribe button. It will help my channel grow, and I'll be able to release more consistent videos like I'm doing right now. So the first game I'm going to be predicting, it has to be this game, right? Box office, the best game all season, the most important game, the most significant game all season. Manchester City, the current Premier League champions, versus Liverpool, one of the best teams in Europe. And if you want to be taught a footballing clinic, if you want to be taught a footballing lesson, you're going to be witnessing the two best teams, I think, in Premier League history facing each other head to head for the Premier League title race. It's absolutely incredible the way both sides play. And I'm telling you, we're going to be seeing some attacking football, many goals in this game, which is going to be so decisive to who's going to win this game to push on for the Premier League title race. I'm telling you, we know Liverpool have been absolutely phenomenal in 2022, keeping so many clean sheets more than not. We know Manchester City have been up and down, but consistently have been showing signs. Like last year in December, they were able to rally up 13 victories in a row. We know these two teams are absolutely magnificent. They're world class. And going into this game, I hope Liverpool absolutely win, because obviously I'm a Liverpool fan, but I just don't like how Jurgen Klopp has been talking in terms of the press conferences before the game. He's been saying it's not a must-win game. He's been saying even if Liverpool don't win, we're still in the title race. But he has to understand, think about 2018-19 when we lost to Manchester City 2-0 at the Etihad, and we only lost like 2 or 3 games that whole entire season. We still weren't able to win the Premier League, and we won like 8 to 9 games in a row when it came to the last games of the season. And that still wasn't enough to chase and hunt down Manchester City when it comes to the title race. Manchester City were able to rally off 9 to 10 victories in a row, which meant that Liverpool weren't able to get their hands on the Premier League title that season. And it feels like history is going to repeat itself. If Liverpool do not get the 3 points this game, I feel like we will not win the Premier League this season, because we know Manchester City know how to handle the pressure. So going in this game, Liverpool must have the mindset of thinking we must win. A draw is not good enough. And the last time these two teams played off, they drew 2-2 at Anfield, and there wasn't much to give. Sometimes I feel like Liverpool were going to win the game because they dominated in some aspects, and then Manchester City at Anfield, when we know there had struggles there when there's been fans, they were able to dominate the games, and in all likelihood should have won that game. So when it comes to this game, I can talk about tactics, I can talk about players, I can talk about philosophies, but at the end of the day, I'm just going to have to nitpick because these two teams are so evenly matched. And the first thing I'm going to be talking about is the miss of Ruben Dias. And I know Manchester City have been able to win games without him, keep clean sheets at important times, and it hasn't really fazed them. But it's not like Manchester City have versed a team of Liverpool's calibre during that run. Yes, you can keep a clean sheet against Atletico Madrid when they're playing 5-5-0 and playing no attackers to literally try harm Stones and Laporte, who are not as consistent as Ruben Dias. Yes, they can play that sort of way when they're versing Manchester United, who didn't even have a striker up front because Ronaldo wasn't there, and then we obviously knew Rashford wasn't playing as well. They played with a false 9 system. We know Liverpool have ruthless, clinical killers up front who know how to find the back of the net, with the world's best player, which people love to say, Mo Salah, with 4 other amazing clinical players. Maybe not Firmino, but obviously Jota, who knows how to find the back of the net, with his goal scoring tallies been absolutely ridiculous this season. Even Luis Diaz, the way he's been able to impact Liverpool straight away. Sadio Mane, we know what he is as well. These guys know how to talk to defenders, and if Manchester City, who we know love to play in the front foot and leave holes in behind, If they're going to play this way, they need their best players. Another massive talking point is Trent Alexander-Arnold, and we know that he's going to be a massive help for Liverpool. We didn't have him the last game we played against Manchester City when we drew 2-2 at Anfield, and we saw that he was a massive miss. The fact that he didn't have his creativity on that right-hand side, the way he plays that right centre mid-row sometimes, coming into the midfield, helping out with those penetrating passes in behind or even into feet, starting most of our attacks. The fact that he's returning from injury is going to be a massive boost for the Liverpool players because we're going to be fully strengthened coming into this game. However, at the end of the day, I feel like this game's going to come down in the final third. How ruthless and clinical each team is. And you know what they say, defense does win you the Premier League, it does win you championships, but attacks win you games. And I'm telling you, if you want to pick out the vacuum, which attack would you rather have, Manchester City's or Liverpool? You just would rather have Liverpool. Yes, we know Manchester City have been scoring many goals this season, have the second best attack in terms of the Premier League. But who has the best attack? And it's not even close. Liverpool, because we know they know how to find the back of the net with their clinical strikers. So me as a Liverpool fan, I'm going to be optimistic. I have faith and belief that we're going to be able to win the game. I trust my forwards to win us this game because throughout the years, they have shown me that I could rely on them in important moments. So going into this game with the miss of Ruben Dias, which I think is going to be crucial and people aren't really talking about much, I'm going to go for a stellar game, 3-2 to the away side. So the next game I'm going to be predicting is Arsenal versus Brighton, and we know how crucial and significant this game is for Arsenal, the fans, the players and the manager to chase down the top 4 race this season. And it was so unlike Arsenal, so unbecoming of them losing to Crystal Palace in that fashion, 3-0 defensive frailties, when we've known Ben White and Gabriel have been able to form a formidable partnership at the back. But in the game against Crystal Palace, all you saw was mistakes. We saw Gabriel, Ben White, even Tavares on the left-hand side just give Crystal Palace chances so they could win this game. And it was just like, how could Arsenal let this happen, especially in such a crucial moment of the season when they are targeting a top 4 race? It's starting to feel like Arsenal are showing their inexperience, their young, youthful nerves, because players like Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard didn't have great games either. Can they really handle the pressure, especially since they're so young in terms of their great career? Are they going to be able to roll up their sleeves, know how to see out games? So let's see if Arsenal have the mental toughness and the character to bounce back when it comes to this game against Brighton at the Emirates. And personally, I don't feel like Arsenal could have picked a better opponent to try and inspire a victory. They are facing a Brighton side who are not fending off relegation because they're quite comfortable at the moment. Don't really have European aspirations because they're nowhere near it. They're just in the middle of the park waiting for the next season to approach because they're not really playing for much this season. So it's not like they're going to be playing inspired football, having that extra 10 to 15% to try push for victories. We've seen it in Brighton's last 7 games or so. They've not been able to find a victory. So at this moment in time, Brighton are void of confidence. They're not really playing for much. And we know Arsenal's record when it comes to playing at the Emirates, they're absolutely amazing. Only losing to the top 3 sides in the Premier League this season. Other than that, they've been able to make sure they were being undefeated. So all 3 factors are working in Arsenal's favour. And if you want your youthful players to feel comfortable, if you want them to feel some sort of belief that they're going to be able to win, you want them to feel that they're in a good aura, in a good space where they can pull off victories and results. And what better place to do this is at home, because we know Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli have performed their best when they've been playing in front of the Emirates, in front of their home crowd. Honestly, I feel like Arsenal have a great chance of winning. I'm going to be predicting a 2-0 victory. So next game I'm going to be predicting is Aston Villa versus Spurs. And just like Arsenal, Spurs are looking to clinch a top 4 place this season. And they've been in absolutely extraordinary form, winning 5 of their last 6 games. It really feels like the players are listening to the style of play Conte wants to implement for their side. We have seen the light on Conte's face, the way he's been animated on the touchline recently. It feels like he's starting to have that belief in his players, which he didn't really have 2 or 3 months ago, because he's been begging Daniel Levy to bring in new additions to the side. But let's talk about those new additions they did bring and how they've improved the side. Players like Kulusevski coming in January, the way he's been a great addition, the way he slid into that front front three. The way Son and Kane, we know, have been instrumental to Tottenham's success, forming a formidable partnership. It's starting to feel like a trio. It's starting to feel like Kulusevski has always been at Tottenham, the way they built great chemistry, great understanding, great play in terms of trying to score goals. He's been a phenomenal signing, scoring 2 goals, 5 assists, and just only coming in January. We even got Benton Core showing that he's been able to play make in that deeper role as a midfielder, relieving some pressure of Kane because we know he's so instrumental the way Tottenham plays, always dropping in deep. We also got other players like Doherty. We know his best position is on the left hand side, but the way he was able to get a goal and an assist against Newcastle was instrumental to get the victory against Newcastle. So Spurs are bubbly, they have the confidence, they have the spirit, everything's just going in their favour, and the way Conte has been handling himself in the interviews and the way he's been ecstatic, the way Tottenham has been playing, the confidence is overflowing, and I just feel like Tottenham are currently the favourites to finish in that top 4 race right now. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We know the game against Aston Villa isn't going to be easy, especially at Villa Park, where the atmosphere is going to be hostile and the home fans are going to be looking for a response for the Aston Villa players, especially since they've lost 4 games in a row under Steven Gerrard. And just like Brighton, they're in this sort of space where they're not going to be relegated, but nowhere near Europe, so it's starting to feel like the players' performances have started to drop. Philippe Coutinho, McGinn, even Ramsey haven't had the same impact like they did when Coutinho just came into the league. So I guess this is going in Spurs' favour. But at the end of the day, you cannot underestimate a stout, physical Steven Gerrard side where we know he's been a great impact in terms of the side. So going in this game, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be hard for Tottenham. But I feel like the way they have just been scoring goals, people usually associate Conte ball with defensive counter-attacking football. And yes, it is. But if you've seen in their last 5 victories, they've managed to score 19 goals in 6 games. They've been absolutely phenomenal in front of goal. And I feel like they're going to be able to keep this up. So I'm going to be predicting a 3-1 victory for the away side Tottenham. So the next game I'm going to be predicting is Everton versus Manchester United. And as a Liverpool fan, this is giving me great pleasure to predict this game because we know both sides are void of confidence. Both sides have been playing pathetic football all season, and both sides really want this season to end, especially Manchester United, who we know don't really have great aspirations of finishing in the top 4 race. We have fans calling out the players, thinking that they're not really playing for the badge, they're not really committed, not really working hard for the team. We have players like Pogba and Rashford on one side, looking at that exit door thinking we need to get out of this mess, and you got Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin thinking the same thing for Everton. And let me just start with the home side, Everton. And it really makes me angry thinking about how the way they've been playing. Yes, Rafa Benitez, he needed to be sacked because he didn't really have the fans' trust and they didn't really run him, especially since he was an ex-Liverpool legend. But at the end of the day, bringing in a young, really inexperienced manager like Frank Lampard, especially in a relegation fight, shows your arrogance, especially you being disillusioned to think where you are as a club right now. Everton are nowhere near good enough right now to be thinking of playing expansive football. And the way Frank Lampard has really been implementing his style, pressurising from the front like we saw against Tottenham a few games ago, even the game against West Ham, showing the defensive frailties. If you're going to do this, you're going to be exposed, especially since you have a championship-worthy defence as a back line. So what gives you the confidence? What gives you the temerity? What gives you the arrogance to think that you can take teams on when we know all season you've been conceding goals for fun and you're nowhere near good enough? Frank Lampard has lost 7 out of his first 11 games as a manager for Everton. What great bounce. You would have thought the players would have reacted. We got Iwobi proving that he's championship worthy even though Everton spent £40 million on him. We even got Keane getting another red card. Everton have gotten like 3 red cards in a row, showing their lack of discipline as a team. Like honestly, nothing's going right for the side, and like I said, defensively they can be got at. And I know Manchester United don't really play fluid, intelligent football as a team and as a unit, but if there's one thing I can bet on for them, they'll be able to find goals, especially since Cristiano Ronaldo should be returning for this game because he's going to be back into the firing line. They didn't really play a striker against Leicester City, and it showed because they didn't really have that many chances and that committed willing runner in the final third to try score goals. But since Cristiano Ronaldo is back and the way him and Bruno Fernandes has been playing lately, especially at the international stage, that chemistry is going to translate onto the pitch against Everton at Goodison Park. These world-class players will find moments and find spurts in the game to take over and get the victory. I'm going to go for a 2-0 away victory for Manchester United. So the last game I'm going to be predicting is Norwich versus Burnley. And going into this game, we pretty much know Norwich have been relegated. Yes, mathematically it's not been proven yet, but at the end of the day, They have the least amount of goals in terms of scoring goals this Premier League season. We know defensively they have the second worst defence in the league. So what's really going to change for Norwich FC when it comes to the relegation fight this season? Burnley have so much to play for, and going into this game, this is a massive victory they must get. Burnley at the moment, they're looking very poor. They've lost 4 of their last 4 games. They haven't been playing well at all, especially since they had that little bounce back, beating Spurs 1-0. You thought they would have really built on this momentum, especially playing inferior sides lately like Brentford, teams they should be beating. But at the end of the day, they haven't, and they need to get back to basics, make sure they work hard, make sure they're tight as a unit defensively, and when they have the chance to counter, they really go for it. And the thing which irritates me the most about Burnley, when I've seen them play live, is they do create chances, they do get in good positions as a team. Weghorst does make those good runs, those sort of players like O'Neill gets in great positions to create chances, but at the end of the day, they haven't been clinical. I've seen against my own team Liverpool, I saw against Chelsea and Manchester City, they get in dangerous areas, but in front of goal, they just haven't hit the target to ensure that it goes in the back of the net. So going this game against Norwich, they really need to fix up. Luckily for them, Norwich aren't a good side at all, like I said, and they really should be winning this game. I believe in Burnley, I believe in Sean Dyche. He has the experience, he has the know-how to get these sort of victories, especially against lower sides in the Premier League, and he really should be winning this game. I'm going to go for a convincing, hard-fought, I'm going to go for a 1-0 victory for the away side